What's going on, Evertonians, and welcome back to Life as an Evertonian. This is our pre-match review for the game on Monday night against West Ham United at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, and this is also a reaction to David Moyes' press conference today. In regards to the press conference, I felt like David Moyes was very almost dismissive in terms of the cup defeat. He's almost like said it's gone. He wants to forget about it. He wants us to move on. We've had a positive start to the season. In so many words, he feels that the players that he fielded in the cup game were all first team players, and they just didn't get the result. Obviously they have been in and around the Everton first team. That's no doubt. But a lot of them have come out from the cold, and the likes of Dwight McNeil, they've hardly played it. And I said in my content, in my videos, it felt like pre-season. There were too many changes. I know Wolves made 9, so that's what he's saying. We didn't get the result, but Everton should have really only tailored and made 2 changes, 3 tops, in my opinion. The likes of Tyler Diblin, Seamus Coleman did play, but played at left back. The balance completely wrong. Should have played at right back. So that, in regards to the press conference, he's obviously stated as well that Adam Azanu, he's not ready. He's on the bench, but he's not ready to be coming in a first team capacity. Or else, he would have even fielded. He would have played in midweek, so he's not even ready for the cup games. And he's obviously said as well, we knew that when we signed him. So that is an interesting one. We've brought in a left back who isn't ready. It's concerning. So, listen, I understand he's got potential, and he's possibly one for the future, somebody that we can work with, but surely coming from Bayern Munich, surely he could have had some minutes in midweek. Surely he could have started that game. Maybe he could have been one that started the game. Adam Azanu at left back, Seamus at right back, and had the 2 centre halves, and Tarky and Michael Keane, and then we could have saw the likes and the ilks of what we've been used to seeing with Jimmy Gardner. I thought we could have played Kieran Dewsbury Hall as an 8, and we could have played Jack Grealish or Njai as a 10, Tyler Diblin on the right. But it's gone, and it's back to the Premier League duty, and it's imperative and important for Everton, I feel, to get 3 points in this game. There's a lot of pressure on West Ham, a lot of pressure on Graham Potter, and nothing but 3 points is what I'll be hoping for on Monday night. It's the first Hill Dickinson Stadium under the lights in a Premier League fixture. He's also said, David Moyes, that Jared Branthwaite is near, but he's not ready yet. And, it's one of those where Michael Keane has been doing a good job. I've yelled and held his praises on this channel, and many Evertonians are really happy the way Michael Keane has featured this season, and also obviously towards the end of last season. I'm glad that he signed that year extension, because we've certainly needed him. When Jared's back, I presume he could slot back in, but also Moyes has mentioned today that Branthwaite could play as a left back as well, because he's predominantly left-footed. So that is an interesting one there. Because he didn't really want to risk Mykolenko midweek from having his injury. However, Mykolenko still did come on with 10 minutes to go. Merlin Rowe is another one who is injured. Obviously, it's slightly disappointing this, as we brought him in on transfer deadline day. We saw a little cameo of him against Villa. Looked good, looked composed, looks an athlete. Looks very strong. Covers a lot of blade of grass. Very tall. Could be an impact player for us Blues. But obviously we just need to have a little bit more patience and give a little bit more time for us to see Murray Raw feature in this Everton squad and Everton team. For me, we have to go back to basics. We have to go back to, you know, Jake O'Brien at right back, Michael Keane, Tarkowski, fundamentals there, centre half. Hopefully Mikalenko is fit. Maybe he's not. Obviously Jimmy Garner's got a slot in there. And then obviously we're going to see the likes of Jimmy, and I think Timur Aburam had a poor game midweek. I think he'll be dropped for this one. He's going back to basics. The likes of Idrissa Gana again there as well. Probably we'll see Keenan Dewsbury-Hall as a 10, and Jai over on the right, and Jack Grealish on the left. And then he was very defensive today in a question that he got asked in terms of the strikers. They haven't really hit the ground running by adding goals. And Moyes was like sarcastic in a remark where, Beto's got 2. So they have scored, and obviously they have contributed to the team getting goals. But I probably think we'll go with Beto, back to basics with Beto with this one. Barry had a poor game midweek. He looked very frustrated. He didn't like to get tackled. He felt like he was being fouled. He reacted by booting the ball at the advertising boys, which found himself get booked, which did him no favours. And obviously David Moyes brought him off at half time. But we have to stay patient. We really have to stay patient with Barry. He's come in and, he's managed to bag 11 goals in La Liga. I know the Premier League is a different animal. He's only 22 years of age. We haven't got many options, Blues, and we have to keep the faith in Barry. We have to keep the faith in Beto. But for Moyes to keep chopping and changing them, like only giving Barry 45 minutes, it can be probably frustrating, because you probably feel like you're going to get brought off at any given time. But that is the nature of the beast. He's got to try his best to get a goal, gain some confidence, build some momentum. I still feel that he does really well in link-up play. He's got a nice first touch in terms of when the ball's getting played in. He seems to pass it out wide quick, which gets the ball moving and the gameplay moving fast. But sometimes like Beto does well in holding it up, and other times he doesn't. He seems to hit him and ricochet off. And they both look very similar, but they're both very different at the same time. So we have to just stay patient and hopefully, they're going to find some intricacy and some good link up with those attacking options. And again, we just have to stay patient. I remember I wanted Jamie Vardy in the transfer window, and a lot of Evertonians like, no, not Jamie Vardy, and we're seeing that we're linked with Gabriel Jesus, who, not for me, honestly, not for me at all. No, I just can't. I just don't think he doesn't add goals. Richarlison bags more than Jesus, in my opinion. But yeah, not for me. If we could bring a striker in the January transfer window, I think it'd be really, really good to add, a lot of contention in that area, because we are only down to the 2. If one of those gets injured, it's gonna be difficult. Do you know what I mean? You are reliant and dependent on them both being fit. But Blues, they need to get goals. And again, Moyes has been defensive in terms of saying Beto's already got 2. It's only 1 in the Premier League and 1 in the League Cup. But let's hope that they can get on the score sheet, either of them, this Monday night. Really looking forward to the game. First midweek Premier League game under the Hill Dickinson lights. So Blues, let me know your thoughts. Send us a comment. It's always welcome. Whatever you're thinking, get it in there. show some support on the channel by giving us a thumbs up. Really, really appreciate the support. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Up the toffees, and I'll see you in the next one.